soda.
Oh, I ain't
All
got
right,
that.
good afternoon, let's call the special meeting to
Took
order,
my job
please.
away from me.
It's September 29th, and we're here at the Civic, or at the Public Works Building for our final public hearing and the, adoption of our 2021 budget. We will call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy,
Here.
Mr. Pollock,
Here.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Mr. Key,
Here.
Ms. Cole.
Here.
All right, thank you. Before we begin, please just note that from our previous meeting to this meeting, you will see that some of the numbers on the ordinances have changed. With our attorney blessed that and said that's fine, it was just an error in the numbering system. But the language of the ordinances remain the same. We will open the public hearing on the budget in the millage. Is there anyone here to speak to the budget? Bob?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, that I'm here tonight, just, to make sure that, when we increase the millage, we're gonna have enough money to go around and do the things we think about doing. And, I had some questions about the outstanding debt that we may owe. I don't know whether that would play into, having enough money or not. I don't know where we stand with the money that we actually owe. I don't think on bonds and loans and that sort of thing. Not maybe when y'all can.
Yeah, we can let, anybody wanna address that? Okay?
Well, I mean, the debt service is figured into the numbers here for this particular year that we're talking about here. As you know, the commission here is, and to my knowledge, only one around with this Hurricane Michael, has not borrowed any money, as part of.
Okay, I was thinking about borrowed money and bonds before the hurricane.
Right, yeah, the service of those are on these particular budgets here as far as, the
What about the
service of
state
those.
revolving fund, has that been taken care of? I know it's a pretty good sized bill,
What's that?
the state revolving fund alone.
I don't have the schedule right in front of me in terms of when that ends. I
It
know one of
ends
them fell off
2021.
2021, yeah, we have spots that will be falling off in the next.
Two ends in 2021, so,
When it's gonna retire, 2022, I don't know whether that's, I don't know how that, $60,000, I think is a debt retire. I added some numbers up, they didn't match quite that, so I'm just interested in, are we gonna have enough money? I had to pay quite a bit more, and I had to lower my taxes this last year, and so I moved to another place. There's not much choice about it, so anyway, just wanna make sure that, that's addressed. We have drainage problems on top of everything too. Somehow, that's gotta be addressed down the line.
so technically on the, amortization schedule, there was two that ends in 2021. I don't remember the exact date, but, it's calculated and it's been, presented in the budget as such. And, as far as you're concerned, that if the amount that we're charging from military, if it's gonna cover everything including the debt, like that's part of the budget where we incorporate all the expense and then we incorporate all the expected revenue. And, we kept the same millage rate as the one that we used last year. And the thing to note that, last year and then the property value went up, so we are getting a little bit more cushion from that. So, it will cover based on our, budget. And then what I did too, I kinda underestimate the income, the revenue coming in, and then I kinda overestimate a little bit on the expense that and then we still end up with, revenue from that we transferred into the Hurricane Michael, fund. So, it will cover everything based on, and then of course, it's a budget, so it especially, there will be a budget amendment needed. If we
That,
have,
the millage rate proposed would,
not,
if it, we're at the maximum now, is that gonna, is any possibility of that changing?
that would not change, because, that's something that we have to follow with the economy. We already, once we adopt it and set it out, that one won't change. But then there's other revenue that we're expecting from like the city and stuff, and those were underestimated.
So
But as
we're
far
not-
as
we're
changing
gonna
it-
have enough money to pay our bills.
Yes,
Well, I don't want to pay.
based on the budget, yes.
Okay.
Just one note on that, the debt services that you're talking about are all in the enterprise funds, not in general.
Well, there's a percentage in the general fund.
In the water fund,
Yeah,
So-
just, there is.
the debt services that are being retired were used in the water fund. Now, if we split them out in terms of, the general fund pays, but it's got to be a very small amount.
Yeah, it's like 17%.
Yeah, so my point is that the rates that we currently charge for water, sewer, and sanitation cover the debt service in the enterprise funds. The millage rate of 8 mills is what supports the general fund, which is the same millage rate we had last year.
Okay.
And if anybody's taxes went up, it would be because their assessed value went up.
Okay, if we're splitting it up, then this would be just for the general fund.
No, all of the whole budget is here, the enterprise funds, the general fund, sanitation fund, water fund, the sewer fund are all being discussed tonight.
Okay,
But the millage rate will stay all just in the general fund, it's talking about the other one would be,
Yeah.
addressed with changes in the rates to the customers on there, which is not proposed at this point.
okay. At one time, I think it went up to 9.5 mills. I didn't know. It's been some time back.
No, never been 9.5.
You know, I think 73, 74, something like that.
Not for the city, maybe collectively county, but not 9.5 mills for the city. All right, we're gonna, is there any other? Everybody else will see is us. Sherry, does Sherry have any questions? Bob, are you good before we move on?
Yeah, as long as y'all feel comfortable in the numbers. that
Yes,
you're
we do.
looking at And being able to operate off of it, that's, because like I said, mine went up. I had to buy a new place to even have a place to live here, so they didn't give me a tax break at all. I paid for the millage on the new house now. If I
Right.
build
We're
that,
comfortable that we can get by till we can regroup. All right, if there's no other comments, we'll close the public hearing and move to the ordinances that govern our budget procedures, which are, the first one is ordinance 750. Do I have a motion to read by title only?
Make a motion to read ordinance 750 by title only.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please read.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the adoption of the millage rate for the tax year 2021, levying an ad valorem tax of 8 mills, $8,000 per 1,000 valuation, on all real and personal property within said city, which is not exempt under law for the purpose of providing funds for the ordinary and regular requirements of the City of Mexico Beach for the fiscal year 21, providing an effective date.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Make a motion we adopt ordinance 750.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollock?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Okay, we've established the millage rate. Next is ordinance 751. Do I have a motion to read by title
Make a motion to read ordinance 751 by title only.
Second.
only? Have a motion and a second. In
Okay.
opposition, please read.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the appropriation of funds and adoption of the tentative budget for the tax year 2021 for the purpose of providing funds for the ordinary and regular requirements of the City of Mexico Beach for the fiscal year 21, providing an effective date.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Make a motion to adopt 751.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Key,
Yes.
Ms. Cole.
Yes.
Next is ordinance 752. Do I have a motion to read by title only?
Make a motion to read ordinance 752 by title only.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please read.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the appropriation of funds and adoption of the budget for the fiscal year 21 for the purpose of providing funds for the water fund, providing an effective date.
Motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 752.
Second.
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Key,
Yes.
Ms. Cole.
Yes.
Thank you. Next is the sewer fund ordinance, ordinance 753. We have a motion to read by title only.
Motion to read ordinance 753 by title only.
Second.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the appropriation of funds and adoption of the budget for the fiscal year 21 for the purpose of providing funds for the sewer fund, providing an effective date.
Motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 753.
Second.
Motion second. Please call the roll.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Key,
Yes.
Ms. Cole.
Yes.
And last is the sanitation fund ordinance. I mean, a motion to read by title only.
Make a motion to read ordinance 754 by title only.
Second.
Have a motion second. Please read.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the appropriation of funds and adoption of the budget for the fiscal year 21 for the purpose of providing funds for the sanitation fund, providing an effective date.
And motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 754.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Key,
Yes.
Ms. Cole.
Yes.
There's an additional business item here, and it's important that we recognize that this is considered an emergency, because we normally would not put that under the budget hearing. So, Laura, if you would, please give us for the record, and make sure that it's so noted
Yes.
that this is not ordinary business we're dealing with here.
Yes, sir, Mayor. And thank you for noting that this is time sensitive. Bay County needs to submit this to the state by the end of the month, which is tomorrow. So they gave us this on Wednesday, right after our last Tuesday meeting, so we didn't have the chance to get it on board. But this gives us the ability to acknowledge that we accept this mitigation strategy plan. And this is a plan that the city's been involved with Bay County for a while, that we've provided them information, and they've included us here. This goes to the state. This opens us up to some opportunities for some funds. So if council received this the last meeting, so that they have a good opportunity to review this, and we got it out to the public at the same time. And hopefully you'll have a chance to agree with it, so we can give this to the state.
Any questions?
Who will decide for Mexico Beach what funds we would have available in this? Whose job is that?
They've put together a committee. The
Okay.
committee is made up of 2 individuals from each municipality. Each municipality put in as many projects as they wanted to go after, and with the premise of there was $325 million. Everyone would have a first choice project, everyone would have a second choice project, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. We were able to fund everybody's first probably 10 projects, keeping in mind that whatever you go after, you have to be able to provide 25% matching funds very early on, the city went after, and I believe it was about $20 million worth of projects. The city committed to having that 25% match when we go after these. Keep in mind, we're going after the match funds through CDBG and other avenues, so it's not, it's gotta be strictly from the city coffers, but, each municipality went after their funds. Right now, we're still all qualified and we're going through that process, so, if we had wanted to go after more, we'd have to make sure that we could fund that side of it. And if you wanted to look at the spreadsheet of the projects that we're going after, I have that in my office. I provided it to the council once or twice in the past, but I'm not sure that you've gotten hold of it. But I happily walk you through those.
Okay.
We've got things like the city pier, the master stormwater, the jetty project,
Okay.
the municipal complex. Those are 4 of the 5 that we've got out there.
And they've been approved at the county, that committee approved all 5 of ours, which means nothing more than from the county level, we won't get kicked out of any that we have, that they've already approved. This was done less than 6 months after the storm, probably 3 months after the storm.
And that whole selection process is just about now to get started at the state level. We've done it here at the local level. This is what gets it to the state level so that we can start that portion of it. We've already started to receive some questions, but we're still on the green.
Okay, because of time restraints, this is, are there any other questions concerning the mitigation plan? Strategy plan? Is there a motion then to read ordinance 2030 by title only?
Make a motion to read ordinance 2030 by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Lindsay, please read.
A resolution of the City of Mexico Beach, Bay County, Florida, adopting the Bay County Local Mitigation Strategy Plan and providing an effective date.
Is there a motion for adoption?
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2030.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Key,
Yes.
Ms. Call.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, Mayor, lastly, again, another time-sensitive issue. When the storm happened last week, it gives us about 10 days to react to the storm and give us a declaration. This is an extension so that we can get it in the timeline where the county will actually get the storm declared. We have been meeting with FEMA representatives here locally. The county and all the other municipalities have met. The Hurricane Sally did meet the requirements to qualify as an emergency, so that declaration should be coming in the next couple of days. But in the meantime, in order to carry the project from the state's commitment, we needed to make this extension. So again, just because of the number of days from the storm till today, till it gets adopted, we need to have this on this meeting if possible.
Is there a motion to read or question? Stephen?
How long is it extended, Mario? Extending resolution?
I think it's for another 10 days. I really have to look the whole
I'm just curious, I was just.
7 days.
7 days.
No.
Yeah, but again,
They don't
I
give
know
you,
it's sensitive, but, and we need to get it done, so I was just curious of, I know it couldn't be 30 days, but I just figured what it would be. Okay, 7 days, thank you, Lindsay.
Okay, it's on the back.
Sorry, Mayor.
that's it. Vote. Is there questions or motion to read?
Make a motion to read resolution 2021 by title only.
2031.
31, excuse me.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please read.
A resolution extending Resolution 20-29 and the associated state of emergency regarding Hurricane Sally.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2031.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Key,
Yes.
Ms. Call.
Yes.
Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Thank
Thank you everyone for coming.